Heartwarming discovery. Little girl abandoned after tragedy receives incredible life-changing help from community. Lily sat alone on the park bench, her small frame shaking with silent sobs as the afternoon sun dipped low in the sky. Her parents were gone, taken by a car accident that had shattered her world. She felt abandoned, an outsider in her own neighborhood. The whispers and glances from the townsfolk stung more than she could express. They tiptoed around her grief, unsure of how to reach out to this fragile little girl who had lost everything. As the thick sadness enveloped her, a shadow fell across the bench. Mr. Thompson, a wiry old war veteran with kind eyes, approached. He had seen her before, roaming the streets, her footsteps heavy with sorrow. He didn't know what to say, but something inside urged him to try. He sat beside her, offering the warmth of silent company. Feeling his gaze, Lily turned, and for the first time, she found comfort in someone else's presence. "Life is tough, kid," he said gently. "But you're not alone." The sincerity in his voice sparked something within her, a flicker of hope. Mr. Thompson remembered the values of unity from the war. They resonated in his heart as he thought of this little girl who needed a village. With determined resolve, he took action. One by one, he rallied the neighbors, people who had stood by and watched Lily suffer, now united in purpose. They brought plates of warm food, offered hugs that wrapped around her like a quilt, and shared stories of struggles that connected them all. Slowly, the warmth of community embraced Lily, nurturing her tender spirit. Days turned into weeks, and for a moment, it seemed like the love of her neighbors could shield her from the darkness. But then, the local government officials stepped in, claiming regulations would take her away from her newfound family. The town split into factions, some arguing for her protection and others convinced it was policy over compassion. Heated debates replaced the gentle hope that had filled the air. In the midst of heartbreak and uncertainty, Lily found her voice. Shakily, she stepped up to the podium at the town hall meeting, clutching her mother's locket. The room fell silent. Even the murmurs faded into awe. "You can't take me away," she said, tears pooling in her eyes. "I'm not a burden. I'm a part of this community. We're stronger together." Her words cut through the tension, sparking a realization within every listener's heart. Memories of their own hardships surfaced. The connection they had started to build with Lily could not be severed by red tape. Suddenly, it felt like the spirit of the American dream was alive in that room, strength in unity, resilience born from shared experiences. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. As tastes of hope wove through the air, an unseen weight loomed overhead. The judge's decision echoed like thunder on the horizon. Would the town choose to stand by this little girl who had lost so much? The weight of their choices hung, heavy and potent. Lily, heart pounding, clutched her locket tighter, feeling the collective breath held in the room. Would they unite, or would bureaucracy tear them apart? The answer could change everything. The following day, the town hall was abuzz with murmurs and whispers, a texture of nervous energy filling the air. Local residents gathered, faces painted with concern, some clutching mugs of coffee, others wrapped in colorful scarves. The sun shone bright, yet there was a storm brewing as Lily's fate loomed closer. Mr. Thompson stood at the entrance, his demeanor a mix of strength and vulnerability. He had rallied the townsfolk before, but today felt different, more urgent. He noticed familiar faces, those of neighbors who had shared meals and laughter with Lily, looking for reassurance. As the clock ticked closer to the scheduled hearing, the crowd began to fill the limited seats in the hall. Friends of Lily, mothers, fathers, and even children sat with emotions written all over their faces. They all understood that this wasn't just about Lily, it was about community and what it meant to come together for someone in need. As Lily and her foster family entered, A hush fell over the crowd. People instinctively stood, eyes glistening with tears. The gesture was powerful, showing her that she was not alone. She could feel the warmth radiating from their hearts, wrapping around her like a protective embrace. In that moment, Lily didn't just see a group of people demanding her stay. She felt a real family, people who would fight for her. The judge entered the room, the gravity of the moment shadowing his every step. Without delay, he called the proceedings to order. He scanned the gathering, noting how the townspeople had transformed into an army united for one cause. Mr. Thompson stood tall behind Lily, a pillar of strength. With determination etched onto his face, he gave her a reassuring nod. As the hearing commenced, various voices filled the air. There were testimonials from the very neighbors who had brought dinners, offered rides, and sat with her through the tears. Each story told painted a vivid picture of Lily's essence, underscoring her significance in their lives. "She has a smile that lights up our block," one woman declared. "We can't allow rules to push her away when love is what she needs. We are her family." The room erupted into applause, the sound echoing off the walls like a contagious, hopeful wave. Then it was Lily's turn to speak. Heart racing, she stepped to the front, taking a deep breath to quell the storm in her chest. She clutched the locket, the heirloom that represented both love and loss. "My heart will always carry my parent," she started, voice shaking as she searched the familiar faces in the crowd. "But I want to stay here. I feel safe, loved, and I belong." Her words flowed like a melody, imbued with raw honesty. Tears glistened as she continued, resonating with everyone, striking chords of shared grief and healing. But as she spoke, a shadow flickered behind the judge, an unexpected figure emerged from the side door. It was a woman Lily didn't recognize, with a briefcase in one hand and an air of authority. As whispers of murmurs rippled through the room, all eyes turned toward her, a tense curiosity thickening the atmosphere. What did she come to say? Lily's heart sank. Was this new arrival a threat to everything she had fought for? The crowd waited, tension crackling, as the woman approached the judge, determination etched across her face. Uncertainty hung in the air. Would this newcomer bring devastating news, or a glimmer of hope? Lily stood, trembling, feeling the weight of the world on her small shoulders as the moment stretched on, suspended in time. Was this the moment that would decide her fate? The woman stood at the front of the room, her posture rigid, but her expression inscrutable. The crowd's anticipation thickened, like fog rolling in over a quiet lake. A faint rustle emerged as she unzipped her briefcase, the sound sending ripples of anxiety through the assembled townsfolk. Lily felt the tremors in her heart, an earthquake of fear. She clenched her locket tighter, desperately grasping onto the love embedded in its cold metal. What could this stranger possibly want? Would she take away the solace that had enveloped Lily these past months? "Excuse me," the woman began, her voice both authoritative and calm, slicing through the tension. "I'm here on behalf of the state." The words hung heavy in the air. Gasps echoed around the hall, as if someone had suddenly turned off the light. Lily felt herself retreat, a small flame threatened by a swift wind. "This isn't easy for me," the woman continued, glancing at Lily. "But I come with a proposal." A murmur swept across the room. Mr. Thompson leaned closer, his brow furrowing with concern. "I have reviewed the case thoroughly," the woman went on, her gaze shifting back to the judge, who listened intently. "And I understand the feelings of this community toward Lily. I've seen the testimonies, the kindness and warmth you have shown her. But laws are in place to protect children, and sometimes those laws can result in difficult decisions." Lily's heart raced. Was she about to be forced into another life? The woman took a deep breath, as if shoring up her resolve. "However," she said, her tone softening, "after a thorough review, I believe there is a way for Lily to remain here under very specific conditions." Hope flickered in Lily's chest like a candle in the dark. The townspeople exchanged glances, filled with anticipation. "I'm proposing a temporary guardianship arrangement," the woman explained, her eyes moving across the crowd. We need volunteers who can provide a stable environment and support Lily for the next few months as we work on a more permanent situation. A collective murmur rose, like a wave crashing against the shore, washing away the tension. Mr. Thompson shot his hand up. We can do it. We can provide that support. Around him, others nodded, excited from the spark of possibility. She belongs here. She needs us. A voice cried out. I would take her, I have space, another added. Lily stood, trembling, as joy and anxiety battled within her. The woman nodded, heartened by the response. I will work with Mr. Thompson and the volunteers. But remember, this is just the beginning. There will be regular checks, and we will need to keep the communication open between everyone involved. Relief rushed through the room, dancing on the edges of the heartfelt moments that had unfolded. But a nagging feeling remained in Lily's chest. What if this glimmer of hope faded? What if she didn't live up to the expectations? The judge cleared his throat, the room falling into a hush once more. Thank you for the proposal. As a community, it's clear we value Lily deeply. Let the conditions be set, and let us decide, as a community, the path forward. As applause rang out, Lily felt one thing fiercely: fear wasn't gone, but hope had taken a firm grip. Her heart soared and sank all at once, each beat thrumming with uncertainty. She could stay, she could thrive, but would she really be enough to hold everyone's trust and love? With emotions swirling in her chest, a question gnawed at her heart. How would she navigate this new chance, and could she truly belong in a world once fraught with loss? The meeting had ignited hope, yet a storm of questions loomed over her future. Would this community stay true to their words, or would they fade from her life just when she needed them most? As the townspeople gathered around, ready to rally for her in this new chapter, Lily felt that perhaps this journey was just beginning. Lily took a deep breath, grounding herself in the moment as the townsfolk surrounded her, their excitement palpable. She could feel their hope wrapping around her like a blanket, and yet, doubt crept in like an unwelcome stranger. Each smile directed her way brought warmth, but underneath it pulsed a nervous energy. She was the center of a potential shift, and that knowledge was both exhilarating and terrifying. Mr. Thompson approached her, his eyes filled with encouragement. You see, Lily? We're all in this together now. You have a support system, and you won't be alone. He clapped a heavy hand on her shoulder, bringing a fleeting smile to her face. The warmth of his reassuring presence melted away some of her fears, but the questions still lingered. One by one, familiar faces from the crowd stepped forward, offering their names and promises of help. Mrs. Jenkins, the kind florist with bright blue hair, offered a spare room. It's cozy and Rosie loves having guests, she exclaimed. Even young Ellie, her unfaltering spirit twinkling in her eyes, jumped up and down with a hopeful grin. You can come over anytime. We can make cookies and have sleepovers. For a moment, it felt as if a puzzle was coming together, one piece at a time, helping her see a future filled with possibilities. But then, the gnawing question crept back in. What if she faltered? What if she wasn't enough? The woman from the state stood to the side, observing the growing enthusiasm. She took note of every volunteer raising their hands, every offering of comfort, her expression softening with each heartfelt declaration. But as encouraging as the scene was, Lily spotted a hint of concern on the woman's face. Did she doubt their commitment? Was she worried about forcing Lily into something she wasn't ready for? As the applause settled, the judge spoke again, his voice steady and reassuring. This is a new chapter for all of us. You're not just giving Lily a home, you're creating a family around her. Let us cherish this opportunity and stand by her every step of the way. Lily felt a swell of emotion. Family. That word tugged at her heart. She had thought she had lost it forever, but perhaps this new community was trying to stitch back what had been torn away. However, just as hope illuminated the pathway ahead, a shadow lurked behind her. What if she didn't measure up to the love they were offering? What if the small voice whispering that she was unworthy became a scream? She dared not voice these fears, but they sat heavy on her chest. Meet us tomorrow at the bakery. called out Mr. Thompson, breaking her reverie. Let us figure things out. Start fresh. Lily nodded, her heart fluttering with a blend of gratitude and anxiety. The thought of seeing everyone again made her smile, but the reality of the commitments ahead loomed large. As the crowd began to dissipate, Lily stood still for a moment, absorbing everything. The distant sound of laughter mixed with the rustling of leaves outside, a gentle reminder of life moving forward. She longed to embrace it, yet felt like a tightly coiled spring, wound up with doubt. Just then, the state representative approached her, her gaze unwavering. You know, Lily, this isn't just about finding a place. It's about you finding your voice among all this. Don't forget to share what you want, what you need. You matter just as much in this equation. Lily's pulse raced. She hadn't thought of it that way. What did she want? Did she even know? As she considered the weight of that question, a thought struck her like a bolt of lightning. What if she allowed herself to be vulnerable? What if she opened her heart to this community, as daunting as it seemed? The feeling settled in her, a small spark igniting. She could be brave. She could let these people in. And so, with courage blooming within her, she took a step forward, ready to unravel the next chapter of her life. But as she turned to leave, a chilling thought crossed her mind. What if in seeking love, she stumbled upon something even darker, buried deep in her past? The morning arrived with a crispness that hinted at autumn, a gentle breeze fluttering the leaves like whispers of encouragement. Lily pulled on her favorite sweater, the one soft and worn around the edges, a little reminder of warmth despite her lingering uncertainty. Today was the day she would meet everyone at the bakery. The thought filled her with both excitement and a tightness in her chest that refused to loosen. As she walked through the quiet streets, the scent of pumpkin spice wafted through the air, wrapping around her like a comforting hug. The bakery was a quaint little place with a wooden door that creaked open as she stepped inside. Warm light spilled through the windows, illuminating the cozy interior filled with the promise of baked goods. The sight stirred something hopeful inside her, even if that nagging voice still lingered. Mr. Thompson was already there, laying out pastries on the display, his enthusiasm infectious. Lily, you made it. Come here, try one of these cinnamon rolls. They're the best in town, and I promise you'll forget every doubt the moment you take a bite. She couldn't help but smile at his zest for life. As she approached the counter, Ellie darted over, her wide eyes alight with excitement. Lily, I saved you a seat. She grabbed her hand, pulling her toward a round table in the corner. The warmth in the bakery wrapped around Lily like the support of the townsfolk. Other familiar faces joined them, each person contributing laughter and lightness to the room. Mrs. Jenkins did a little dance while placing a platter of cookies on the table, causing everyone to giggle. As they chatted, the mood transformed from tentative to vibrant. Each story shared, each laugh exchanged chipped away at the walls Lily had built. She began to feel like a piece of this puzzle after all. The realization snuck in like a gentle wave, warming her from the inside out. She wasn't alone. They wanted her here, and maybe, just maybe, she deserved to be a part of this community. Yet, in the corner of her mind, the darker thought lurked, simmering like a storm cloud. What if she opened her heart only to have it break again? It threatened to overshadow the joy blossoming within her. As the conversations flowed, Mr. Thompson looked directly at her, drawing her into the moment. So, Lily, tell us about what you love. What makes you happy? Her heart raced. No one had really asked her that before. She hesitated, suddenly paralyzed by the weight of the question. What did she love? It felt so uncharted, like a vast ocean before her. But as she looked around the room, seeing the interest in their eyes, she decided to take the leap. I love drawing, she admitted, feeling the warmth rise in her cheeks. And I love the way sunsets paint the sky with colors. A chorus of oohs and ahs filled the room, each reaction a little push towards something she had hidden away. It felt liberating to say it out loud. The tension in her chest eased just a bit. Do you think you could teach us? Ellie bounced with enthusiasm, her excitement contagious. We could have art days. Lily felt a smile creeping across her face, that spark of courage igniting again. "I'd do like that," she replied, more certain than ever. But just as the warmth of connection enveloped her, a figure loomed in the doorway. A tall woman with authority etched across her features stepped inside. The room fell quiet, all laughter stilled. Something about her presence felt heavy, charged with unrealized expectations and unspoken judgments. Lily's heart dropped, dread pooling in her stomach. What could this woman want? Would she take this feeling of belonging away? "Lily," the woman called, her voice strong but not unkind. "We need to talk." Lily's pulse quickened as her heart raced anew, a shadow of unease overshadowing the lightness she had begun to feel. What could this mean? With a deep breath, she steeled herself for whatever was to come. It felt like standing at the edge of an unknown cliff, ready to leap, though she didn't know what awaited her on the other side. As the crowd's chatter faded into silence, she felt the pressure of a truth waiting to be unveiled. What was the state representative going to reveal? Would it bring joy, or would it unravel the threads of hope she had begun to weave around herself? The weight of that moment settled heavily, and Lily's heart beat faster in anticipation. The silence draped over the bakery like a thick fog. All eyes turned to the woman standing tall in the doorway. Lily's mind raced, trying to find her voice amidst the sudden panic swelling within her chest. Every laugh, every moment of connection she had just savored felt like it was slipping away. "Lily, I'm here on behalf of the community council," the woman said, her tone firm yet tinged with something softer, maybe even empathetic. "I wanted to check in on you. You've been through a lot recently. A move, starting over. I just wanted to see how you're adjusting." Adjusting? The word ricocheted around her mind. She opened her mouth to respond, but the words tangled in her throat. It felt as if she was still processing her surroundings, the warmth of the bakery, the laughter filling the air, and the comfort she had slowly begun to embrace. The very idea that she was being scrutinized was suffocating. Did they see her as a charity case? Ellie chimed in before Lily could gather her thoughts. "She's doing great. She just told us she loves to draw. We're going to have art days." Her enthusiasm sparkled like the sun glistening through the window, yet it was unable to slice through Lily's haze of insecurity. The representative shifted her gaze toward Ellie, then back to Lily. "That's wonderful to hear," she said, her expression softening slightly. "Art can be a healing experience, but it's also okay to take your time adjusting. You don't have to rush into anything." Lily felt the cautious hope inside her flicker like a candle in a breeze. Part of her wanted to shout back that she was fine, that she could handle herself, but the other part couldn't suppress the vulnerability that bubbled to the surface. I'm trying to feel at home," she stammered, the admission bringing a flush to her cheeks. Mr. Thompson stepped forward, sensing the tension. "Lily just found her footing here. She's been amazing, and we want her to know that she's one of us." He spread his arms toward the group, igniting nods and murmurs of agreement. But the representative's expression shifted, a shadow crossing her face. "Community is important, but sometimes we need to talk about what's best for our citizens." The words hung heavy in the air, like dark clouds threatening rain. Lily's heart sank. Did she hear a hint of doubt? Was there an assumption about her ability to thrive in this new place? "Wait," she said, voice trembling with emotion. "I appreciate that you care, but I want a chance to prove that I belong here. Not to be treated like I'm fragile." The room held its breath, all eyes on her, and for an instant, she felt lighter, as if sharing that desire was a release. The woman blinked, taken aback by Lily's sudden conviction. "I didn't mean to imply I know," but Lily searched for the right words. "I need this space to grow, to find out who I am and what I can do." The bakery seemed to lean in with her, each person absorbing each syllable, energizing her resolve. She noticed Ellie nodding vigorously, Mr. Thompson giving her a thumbs up, Mrs. Jenkins whispering encouraging words from across the table. The representative opened her mouth but then paused, a flicker of understanding crossing her features. "All right, Lily. If being here feels right for you, then that's what matters." A wave of relief washed over Lily, accompanied by a newfound determination. Maybe, just maybe, she wasn't as fragile as she had feared. This was her opportunity, not just to fit in, but to truly belong. As the conversation slowly resumed, the weight felt lighter, allowing pockets of laughter to blossom again. Lily couldn't help but smile, feeling a bond with the people surrounding her. Yet just as she began to bask in the connection, doubts still lingered in the back of her mind. What if proving her strength invited the kinds of challenges she hadn't faced yet? Was she ready to fully embrace this new chapter? With every question, the stakes felt even higher. As she sought comfort in her cinnamon roll, the buttery sweetness was a gentle reminder of the journey ahead. Would she be able to navigate the rocky path of her new life, or would the shadows creep back in? A familiar unease settled, entwining with her determination. Suddenly, the door swung open again, this time revealing a young boy, eyes wide and breathless. "Lily, you won't believe what I found." Everyone turned, curiosity piqued. "What was it?" they chorused, captivated by the boy's urgency. Lily leaned forward, pulse racing again. The unexpected twist had just entered her story. What had he discovered that could shift their world once more? The boy took a moment, panting as he stepped inside, his excitement crackling in the air like static. He clutched a small, dirt-streaked object in his hands. "It's a treasure. I found it behind the old oak tree by the park," he exclaimed, eyes shining brighter than the sun pouring in through the bakery window. "What is it?" Lily managed to ask, her heart thundering with a rush of curiosity. "Open it," he urged, barely able to contain his excitement as he extended his hands. The gathered crowd leaned closer, their previous camaraderie hanging in the air like thick smoke, replaced by an inviting curiosity. Lily carefully took the object and wiped a layer of dirt from its surface to reveal a locket. It was small and ornate, its gold clasp giving off an aged glow. As she examined it, a flurry of gasps echoed around her. "It must have belonged to someone special," Mrs. Jenkins said softly, running a finger gently over the intricate design. "What's inside?" Ellie asked, leaning in, her eyes wide with wonder. With a slight tremble in her fingers, Lily flipped open the locket. Inside, it bore a faded photograph of a young couple smiling, carefree, lost in a moment that felt miles away. Below it was an inscription, nearly worn away but still legible enough to decipher. "Always in our hearts." Lily's breath caught. A wave of bittersweet emotions surged through her. "Do you think they lived here?" she asked, glancing up at the gathered friends, who all appeared just as mesmerized by the discovery. "We should find out," the boy exclaimed, his face lighting up with the idea. "Maybe someone here knows them." A ripple of determination swept across the group. The bakery, once a sanctuary from uncertainty, transformed into a hub of potential discovery. "What if we could return this to their family?" Ellie piped up, her enthusiasm infectious. "It could mean so much." The warmth surrounding Lily began to pulse with newfound energy as the group started brainstorming. "I could ask around at the community center," Mr. Thompson suggested, his voice filling with resolve. "Maybe the library has some old records," Mrs. Jenkins added, her brow furrowing in thought. Lily felt her heart swell, a sudden mix of gratitude for the community and an unexpected thrill at the shared mission. Suddenly, doubt sprinkled through her excitement, a nagging question in the back of her mind. What if they dug too deep? Would it lead them to heartache instead of connection? "Wait," Lily interrupted, her voice quieter than she intended. "What if no one wants to remember? What if this makes things worse?" The bakery grew quiet again, the gravity of her question settling in like a thick fog. She could sense everyone's voices falling away as they absorbed the thought, tension lining their faces. But Ellie shook her head emphatically. "But it could also bring someone hope. Memories can be healing, right?" Lily considered Ellie's words. Maybe what they were doing could evoke those cherished memories instead of pain. Hope began to shimmer in her chest again, pushing the shadows back, even just a little. "Okay," Lily said, the sound barely escaping her lips. "Let us find out. Let us see who this belongs to." As cheers of agreement erupted from the group, Lily felt a flicker of excitement mix with the tension. She had just started to find her footing, and now the stakes felt real. Yet, deep down, she wondered what if stepping back into the past uncovered something more profound about herself? What if this journey wasn't just about the locket, but about figuring out her own place within this community? As the laughter returned, filling the bakery with life, Lily braced herself for what lay ahead. For a fleeting moment, she basked in the warmth of connection, but the gnawing question lingered at the edges of her heart. What truths awaited them as they uncovered the lives hidden beneath the surface of that locket? Just as a new idea sparked in her mind, the door flung open again, revealing a tall figure, face drawn and anxious. "I need to speak with someone about a locket," the stranger began, voice trembling, eyes scanning the room as if seeking an answer from the gathered crowd. Lily's heart raced. Could this be the revelation that would change everything? The room fell silent, the moment stretching out like a taut string ready to snap. All eyes turned to the stranger, who stood at the doorway, a whirlwind of mixed emotions shadowing her features. The flickering lights above cast soft glows, illuminating the girl's worn coat and the tremor in her hands. Lily's heart thudded, now unsure if the discovery was a step forward or a step into uncertainty. Was this woman connected to the couple in the locket? Did she breathe life into the photograph, making it more than just a memory? Hi, Lily managed, almost stepping forward to break the ice. "Are you looking for a locket?" Her voice came out softer than she intended. The stranger nodded slowly, her brow furrowing with every breath. "Yes. I think it might be mine." Her eyes shimmered with a hint of hope mixed with fear. As Lily approached, memories from the bakery's laughter and vibrant energy flickered and faded into a backdrop. The weight of the conversation felt monumental. "Do you know what it looks like?" she asked, trying to gauge the woman's connection to the locket. "It's gold, small, ornate. There should be a picture inside," she said, her voice quaking slightly at the edges. Lily's pulse quickened. "We found it earlier. It has a picture of a couple." She paused, searching for the right words. "They look happy. There's an inscription, too." The woman's face paled, her eyes widening. "Always in our hearts," she whispered, the words tumbling out like a confession. A surge of realization coursed through Lily. This woman was tied to the memories captured within the locket, fragile threads connecting her to a love that seemed long lost. Are they your parents?" The stranger blinked rapidly, trying to regain her composure. "They were," she replied, her voice barely a breath above a whisper. "They died in an accident when I was little. I was only 8. Lily felt the air thicken with unspoken grief, wrapping around the room. Her heart ached for the woman, for the little girl she used to be lost and alone in a world that must have seemed so daunting. "I'm so sorry," she said softly, not knowing if there were any words that could bring comfort. "Thank you," the woman said, a mixture of warmth and sadness spilling from her eyes. "I thought I had lost everything that connected me to them." The realization dawned on everyone gathered, the bakery now transformed from a playful hub to a space filled with reverence. Their mission had shifted, becoming not just about finding a locket, but about mending broken threads of family. Ellie stepped forward, her hand resting lightly on the stranger's shoulder. "Maybe we can help you find more about your parents? We can look through old records or talk to people who knew them." Her enthusiasm had its own life, a spark of hope igniting in the quiet despair. The woman nodded slowly, a fragile smile breaking through the walls of sorrow. "I'd like that. I'd like to know to remember." Lily's heart soared just a little, mixing with an understanding that came along with the weight of responsibility. They were delving into a realm of memories, both beautiful and painful, but they were doing it together. And while the gathering storm of emotions circulated in the bakery, another thought coursed through Lily's mind: how much deeper could this journey plunge them? What truths would they uncover about the past, and how would it shape their future? Just as the group began to chatter excitedly about what steps to take, the woman, with newfound resolve, asked, "Do you think I could see the locket again?" With a nod, Lily prepared to hand it over, her heart racing. She wanted to witness the moment it would connect the lost to the remembered. Would it bring closure? Or unveil new questions yet to be answered? As Lily handed the locket to the stranger, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning of something far more intricate, and maybe, just maybe, it would help her truly understand herself in the process. The locket gleamed under the soft light, its edges delicate yet resolute. As the woman carefully took it in her hands, the atmosphere in the bakery shifted. Heartbeats felt synchronized, as if the room held its collective breath, waiting for the emotional cascade to follow. The stranger turned the locket over, her fingers tracing the engraved surface, as if mapping the memories buried within. Lily watched closely, hoping the moments ahead would bring clarity instead of confusion. A flicker of recognition might spark a flood of memories. Would this be the moment her past rekindled? Do you remember them? Your parents? Lily asked, her voice barely cutting through the heavy silence. The question hung in the air, raw and tender. The woman looked up, tears welling in her eyes. I have fragments, she admitted. Shadows of laughter in a sunlit room, the smell of fresh bread in the oven. My mother would bake when she was happy, but it all feels so distant, like a dream I can't quite capture. Lily's heart ached for her. She could sense the depth of loss beneath the woman's carefully curated memories. It wasn't just about the locket, it was about piecing together a life that was incomplete. I can help you, Ellie chimed in, her voice soothing yet firm. Together, we can find out more. The woman nodded, gratitude spilling over her features as if light tried to break through the clouds of her sorrow. A gentle murmur enveloped the bakery as customers turned to witness the unfolding scene. A few wiped at their own eyes, feeling the weight of shared humanity. It was as if everyone had become a part of this unexpected reunion. What's your name? Lily asked softly, wanting to bridge the gap between their worlds. Clara, the woman replied, holding the locket close to her heart. Clara Green. Lily smiled. I'm Lily. This is Ellie. She gestured to her friend, who gave a supportive nod. We're so glad you found us. As Clara held the locket, she whispered, I've carried the weight of their absence for so long. This means more to me than words can express. Before Lily could respond, a bustling customer bumped into a nearby table, causing a chaotic rattle of cups and laughter. It broke the poignant moment, but Clara didn't lose her focus. Instead, she smiled at the mishap, a flicker of lightness mingling with the sorrow. It was a small victory, but it was something that caught Lily off guard. Maybe, Clara began thoughtfully, this locket is a bridge. Maybe I can share my parents' love with others, make them more than just memories to me. Lily's heart fluttered at the idea. What if Clara transformed her pain into something beautiful? It was profoundly hopeful and reminded Lily of how pain could metamorphose into purpose. Excitement bubbled in the group. They began to brainstorm down paths they could take, the kind of memories they might uncover, the stories they could share. Clara's eyes glimmered, each suggestion sparking a flicker of joy, a newfound determination. But as the atmosphere brightened, a sudden shadow slipped over Clara's face. What if I discover things I didn't want to know? What if my parents weren't as perfect as I imagined? The question hung there, heavy and profound. Lily exchanged glances with Ellie. The weight of Clara's fear was palpable, grounding them all back into the reality of uncertainty. It's okay to be scared, Lily said, reaching for Clara's hand. But know that you're not alone in this. We'll face it together. Clara looked at each of them, her breath steadying, heart beating a little easier at the prospect of support. I'd like to try. I want to know them fully, even if it's hard. With renewed determination, the group began to outline their plan. But amidst the budding excitement, Lily still struggled with her own questions. What if they're digging into Clara's past on Earth, something no one was ready for? As the evening light grew dimmer outside, the bakery became a living tapestry of hope and uncertainty, stitched together by shared experiences and discovery. The journey now felt not just Clara's, but one they would all embark on. What awaited them around the next corner? And how would their lives intertwine as they loaded the weight of hope and heavy truths onto their shoulders? The sense of adventure was palpable. In connection with the past, would they find pieces of themselves in each other's stories? The air buzzed with anticipation as they prepared to dive deeper, not knowing what lay waiting beneath the surface. Days turned into weeks, filled with laughter, tears, and discoveries. The bakery became a home base for Lily, Ellie, Mr. Thompson, and Clara as they pooled their energy and resources to delve into Clara's past. Each meeting unveiled pieces of history and mystery, with the warmth of cinnamon rolls and freshly brewed coffee sparking every conversation. One afternoon, with autumn's chill settling in, Clara handed Lily a collection of old letters she had found tucked into a dusty box at her grandparents' house. "These were written by my parents," she explained, her voice slightly trembling. "They're filled with dreams and love. I thought they might help fill in the spaces." Lily's heart raced with anticipation. She felt honored to share in this intimate moment. As Clara read aloud, her parents' words painted vivid images of happier times, their hopes for the future, a wish list for things they wanted to do, and tender musings about family. The room fell silent, wrapped in the essence of love that could transcend the years, creating bonds that still held strong even in their absence. "Your parents truly loved each other," Lily said, feeling a warmth radiating from the shared moments. Clara nodded, tear-filled eyes lighting up with a sense of connection she hadn't felt in years. As weeks passed, Lily immersed herself in Clara's narrative, feeling every joy and heartache. With every shared letter brought forth from the past, she found solace in the reminders of love that echoed through Clara's family, and in turn, she began to untangle her own feelings of isolation. Yet another meeting pushed through the powerful emotions. Clara had discovered that her parents had a favorite picnic spot. "I want to go there," Clara finally said, her voice determined yet fragile. "I want to feel close to them." Ellie's eyes sparkled. "Then let us go. We can make it a day. We could have a picnic just like they did." The day dawned clear and bright. As they reached the hill overlooking a patchwork of vibrant trees, Clara felt a lump form in her throat. The scenery felt alive with memories, those letters, the laughter echoing in the air, and the sweet promise of hope that had woven itself through the community like a comforting quilt. Sitting on the blanket they had laid out, the group shared sandwiches that Mrs. Jenkins had insisted on making, a hint of her signature herbs flavored each bite. Clara closed her eyes, envisioning her parents lounging in the same spot years earlier. It was a bittersweet moment, but surrounded by her chosen family, she felt a flood of warmth. "I finally understand," she whispered, the breeze catching her words as they tumbled softly into the wind. "Love doesn't disappear because someone is gone, it changes. It finds new forms." Tears filled Lily's eyes too, as she connected the dots. The journey they had embarked on had healed more than just Clara's scars. It was stitching together Lily's own heart, showing her the power of connection amplified through community. They all had experiences that could unify them if they dared to share. In that fleeting moment, it crystallized for Lily. The past shaped them, but the present offered a way forward together. But just as joy began to wrap them warmly, Clara's expression turned thoughtful. "What if we created a way to celebrate my parents' love? Maybe it could help others feel connected too." The idea took root within their small group, branches of hope stretching out in every direction. That's when Mr. Thompson suggested, "What if we organized a community picnic? We could honor both your parents and the connections that have blossomed here." Soon the plan was in motion. Flyers spread through town, gathering excitement. On the day of the picnic, with colorful blankets and tables filled with food, the community came together in droves, sharing stories, passing around dishes, and embracing one another with open hearts. Clara's parents' story ignited a spark of remembrance among many who attended, opening old wounds for some but providing healing for all. As laughter filled the air, Lily found herself standing beside Clara, their conversations mingling with a shared sense of belonging. "Look at everyone. They came together for us," Clara smiled, unable to hide the joy that radiated from within. Yes, and they're making their own memories too. It's incredible, Lily replied, gratitude swelling inside her. For the first time since losing her parents, the weight on Lily's shoulders lightened. She was part of something greater, a community woven with stories of loss, love, and resilience. Clara squeezed Lily's hand, and in that moment, they both understood. They were not just uncovering the past, they were building futures, rooted in hope and togetherness. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting hues of orange and pink across the sky, Clara pulled out the locket, gleaming anew in a myriad of colors. Let us release it into the wind. A way to send love back to my parents. With nods of agreement, they spun around to face the sunset, hand in hand, each person gripping the locket tight until it was time to let go. The air felt electric with expectation. They whispered their wishes and gratitude before letting the locket slip into the gentle breeze, whirling off into the distance, a symbol of their bond and journeys intertwined. Together, they watched it disappear, and for the first time, Lily truly felt whole, neither abandoned nor lost, but surrounded by a tapestry of new beginnings woven through the love and strength of every single person standing there. As the stars winked into life overhead, she realized the journey ahead would have its challenges. Yet now, she was armed with the understanding that whatever awaited them, none of it would be faced alone. They had turned their scars into a legacy, built from love, community, and the promise of connection, a beautiful transformation that grew stronger every day. Now, as you conclude this heartwarming chapter, you need to subscribe immediately to ensure you don't miss our next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to help feed the algorithm and support the channel. Drop a comment telling us your reactions and feelings about this transformative journey. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible story of hope and love. Your support matters, so let us keep this community growing together.